Well, unless a young possum's cooch is very visible.
Yes, that is true.
And thus you can see it in the night.
And you see it at night time. Yeah, there's like a regular thing.
It might be a glow in the dark vagina.
Sure, why not? Let's
attached to a possum.
Hello and welcome to episode 60 of the Unusual Suspects podcast. Happy birthday to the shining photograph in the ballroom, because it's 100 years, 1921, since that photograph was taken. That's the only movie trivia news I had today.
Wow, pulled that out of your ass, didn't you?
I think it was last month that it actually I remember reading about it like a couple of days ago, and it's it's
the 4th of July.
Is it 4th of July?
Yeah, 1921.
Shit.
So it's this month, but when everybody hears this, sausages.
Yes. It was last
it'll be
month.
nearly September.
Yeah, whatever. It was this year at least. There you go. But yeah, happy 100th birthday to that fantastic that fantastic film that I love very much that I completely forgot.
No, the film didn't come out in 1921.
I know.
It was the party.
I fucking know.
Picture.
I've seen the fucking film like 8 times. Give me a break. Joining me, who's just had a bucket of chicken and is very happy, and you can check some extra content of Penny eating some chicken on our Patreon page. It is Penny. Hello, Penny.
Hi.
We don't have a Patreon page, by the way.
We don't have a Patreon, and I'm certainly not eating chicken on it. Nobody needs to see that.
Hey, if the viewers request it, we'll sell out, you know. Speaking of sellouts, join us as Andy. Ooh. Hello, Andy.
I'll definitely eat chicken on Patreon.
For 1 hour?
I'll stare down the barrel of the lens, one bit of popcorn chicken at a time. Num, num, num.
My fucking ideas.
Yeah, you showed us a preview of that earlier, and to say it was disturbing was to put it lightly.
Haunting, isn't it? Maybe I'll see if we can slowly zoom in as we get further through the hour. So it just ends like on the beard with crumbs, bits of chicken crumbs.
So
like a macro lens.
A mukbang kind of thing.
No.
So what you're suggesting here is you want to just eat chicken and have the crumbs left over on the mouth, and that will be considered content.
Yep.
You suggested it.
Possibly paid content if we do.
Yep.
Right. Okay. I'm not sure that would work, but I mean, we're open to suggestions.
We get Patreon, right?
Yes.
The top tier, £100 tier, possibly, depending on where you live. I will come to your house and eat chicken with you.
A month. £100 a month.
Yeah, I'll come to your house and eat chicken with you. Once a month. If you're not that far.
Well, I guess that would include travel, so that 100 quid is gone, plus the VAT. So
no, it depends where you live. Within a certain mile radius. I don't know. We'll work out the details when we get Patreon.
Within 10 minutes
10
of
mile
where Penny
radius?
is. 10 mile.
I don't know how far miles are. My brain doesn't work that way.
Well, I can tell you for free that the M25 is 126
Oh my
miles.
fucking god, no. No. We're not... did we ever explain this?
And for 50p a month, Andy will come to your house and tell you about motorways.
Did we ever explain this?
No.
One night after after one of the podcast episodes, pretty much until about fucking 1 a.m. at this point is all I can remember, Andy decided, I don't know how we got onto the fucking conversation, Andy decided he was going to look up motorways. Now that's fine and all. I think we're discussing the M25, right?
We were talking about the M25. I wanted to know what the circumference of the M25 was.
Sure.
It's 115.2 miles.
Great.
I also wanted to know where we could get to from where we live, where we could reach within that sort of range. So we could get to Swindon, Oxford, couldn't get to Bath, was 7 miles short.
Right, okay. Let me stop you there. Right. I just wanted to know when it was built, because I was interested in how the world, or mostly, obviously, the UK worked without its biggest motorway or its most popular motorway, let's say. I don't even think motorways are popular either way. And then we looked up service stations and stuff like that and where the service stations are. That's what we do in our free time, everyone, just so you know how exciting we are.
And if you thought After Dark was boring,
yeah,
then this is the stuff we didn't put on After Dark, which is even more boring, so you're welcome.
There you go. And it was preceded by hours and hours and hours of Andy giving me facts about motorways, so much so I legitimately got angry and
you nearly had a breakdown.
yeah, because you wouldn't fucking stop.
That part was good.
Just thought you might want to know how many service stations there are on the M6, the UK's longest road.
I asked about service stations. I wanted to know...
I told you.
Yeah, I wanted to know about a particular one, like
station.
fucking Cobham, which is a fantastic service station, by the way. I wanted to know about a particular one. You decided, hey, I'm going to tell you every single one that is on this motorway that you probably will never go to in your life. And, you know, just so you know.
We'll do it for extra content. We'll go to all of them.
Yeah, more extra content. So you got Andy eating some chicken. And some
we could do the longest motorway and the shortest motorway, which I think is in Scotland, between Ayrshire and somewhere else. It's 0.25 miles, I believe.
I just want to stream movies on Twitch with people, but you guys want to eat chicken and go to motorways.
I don't want to do either of those things. That's what you fucking guys suggested. Jesus Christ. Yeah, right. Well, we've got 2 ideas for potential future Patreon content. If you've got any ideas that are as good as motorway readings and eating chicken, why not let us know at PO Box 204. This isn't a real address.
Do you think there's an M204?
Do you want to find out and then let me fucking know?
No, just go.
Andy, get off the keyboard. Get off the keyboard.
Don't hold the line caller. Keep going. Keep going.
No, get off the keyboard because he's not concentrating. Get off your keyboard. Stop it.
Show us your hands.
Show us your hands.
Hands in there so we can see. Yep. Other one as well.
That's one hand with a pencil in it and the other hand.
both hands at the same time.
Show us both fucking hands. There you go. Right. Okay. Now keep them there for an hour. Right. So, guys, I have a brand new segment, as I always do, that I wanted to introduce to you. Now, before I start, we may have ripped off the BBC before with another segment. Okay, I maybe have ripped off an old show with its theme tune and possibly its title of said show in the past. I have maybe done it again.
We're getting cancelled, aren't we?
And it may involve the BBC.
It's so much safer to talk about motorways.
No, it's not fucking...
than to steal things from the BBC.
We get a lot of questions that you guys don't see. So I would like to ask these questions on a new edition of Unusual Suspects. Question time. Hi, I'm it's David Dick. Who presents it? Sorry, who presents it?
I don't know.
It's Andrew Marr, isn't it?
Andrew Marr. No, is it? Who's the guy?
It isn't David Dickinson. It's not Flog It. Bargain Hunt.
Oh, hang on. I'm thinking of, I think, the Andrew Marr show.
Yeah, that's not Andrew Marr. Who the fuck
we should have done the fucking research. If Penn and I had known, we would have checked it.
Was that the real theme song? Are we getting cancelled?
Yeah, do you want to hear it again?
Yeah, that's the real theme song.
No.
God, no.
I'm that guy who's presented it for over 20 years, and I can't remember his name. We get a lot of questions, as I said, come in, and we have a couple of questions coming in from potential viewers or listeners of this podcast. I would like to ask and open.
Fiona Bruce.
No, it's not.
On question time.
Whoever it was doing it, the guy who was doing it for a long time, I don't remember his name. Anyway,
Robin Day.
Dimbleby.
Sure. Okay, Robin Day.
No, it was David Dimbleby. I'm looking at it backwards.
Dimbleby, wasn't it?
Yeah. You can be Fiona Bruce if you want, Dan.
You got the same soft accent. I like it. Plus a lovely shape to you both.
Moving on. We have questions I keep saying that have come in, and we would like to open the floor to everyone to just ask
he doesn't
or
tell us
answer.
when he does this, you know, guys.
Jesus Christ! Answer these questions in the most polite way and in the most political way as possible. If people don't know what Question Time is, it's a show where politicians come on and they,
literally explaining
the public ask questions. Our first question actually is a voicemail question, and we'll take it away to the public. Let's see what the one of the members of the public have asked us.
Hello, it's Michael Kane here.
Oh my god.
Oh, fuck me, not again.
My question to the panel is about Clifford the Big Red Dog. I'm a bit confused to why Clifford in the new movie trailer is not the size of a house. He's sort of just like a slightly bigger dog.
All right, thank you, Michael. You're going too long there. Thanks for your question. So, to reiterate what Michael said, what are your thoughts on the new movie for Clifford the Big Red Dog? Why is Clifford not as big as he kind of usually is, especially in a TV show? And something that Michael didn't bring up, how are your thoughts on Jack Whitehall doing an American accent if you have not seen the trailer?
I haven't seen any of it.
Great.
I haven't seen the trailer either. Unfortunately, I was not aware of this. However, having looked at the images...
Okay, let me...
having... Sorry, continue, host.
Oh, thank you.
Fiona, please feel free to continue.
So, if you haven't seen the trailer...
Obviously, if I had a point, I just got walked over. So you carry on,
If you haven't seen the trailer, which you haven't, Clifford...
he's quite big still.
Clifford was the size of a fucking house. Let's be real here, okay? He was the size of a fucking house. I remember the TV show where his fucking legs were coming out of the windows like fucking Alice in Wonderland and shit like that. In this, it's been Americanized. It's basically set in America.
Wasn't it American?
I believe it was.
Okay. Sorry, I thought it was British. So it's Americanized.
I think they Britishized it. Is that a word?
The problem Michael Caine has is that the dog is not big enough. How do you feel about the dog not being big enough in this?
I am looking at the pictures now, and I assume, like, there's a picture that I'm looking at, and Clifford is coming out of a building, and you can see the kid and Jack Whitehall. I imagine if I'm looking at the pictures of the scale of him in the cartoon, you would have to be so far zoomed out to fit more of Clifford in. You wouldn't be able to see Jack Whitehall's stupid face.
Oh, okay.
Unless you did
which is a benefit, if anything.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, I mean, let's be honest.
So I assume it's... I was going to say logistics. He's not a real dog. I have a question for Michael Caine. Is T-Bone in it, though? Because he was the better dog.
Michael Caine's not the fucking director, Pen. And this is only a
Neither
fucking...
am I. So why is he asking me?
Because it's a one-way line. That's how question time works. Sometimes
it was a voicemail, wasn't it?
It was a voicemail.
I think the biggest issue I have with it actually is the shading of Clifford, because he's not red enough.
He's more realistic, though.
It is more realistic, yeah.
I forgot a film about a massive fucking dog is supposed to be realistic. Do you know what I mean?
But
he's an enormous dog. If they want to make it Clifford the Big Red Dog, make it Clifford the Big Red Dog, not Clifford the slightly beige dog.
He's not beige. He is red.
He's not that red.
He's not beige.
He's not fucking red.
He's a red Andrex puppy.
Okay.
But a big one.
I think we diverged from the question. That's fine. I think we...
No, I answered the question.
Fair enough. Okay.
I agree with the Right Honourable Bennett. It should be bigger.
I think that's why. If they're going to have him walking around New York and having interacting with people, if they made him too big, the people would be too small because
they would die.
Well, unless you did some sort of like Hobbit force perspective stuff, but I assume that's why. And if they live in New York, where are they going to put a fucking doghouse big enough to fit him in? He has to be able to get in buildings, I assume.
Movies.
Yeah, but I mean, also New York is fucking heaving most of the time. Yeah. A giant dog walking around like fucking Red Godzilla.
Amazing.
It's going to scare the piss out of tourists.
No, that's why he's a golden retriever.
What's he going to piss against? The fucking Statue of Liberty?
Oh, I hope
Where are you going to find a giant fire hydrant?
I'm sure there's going to be some sort of piss joke in there, but in a PG sense. There's got to be when that film comes out.
Can we all watch it? I'll watch it.
I mean, you can watch it when it comes out. I have absolutely no interest in it.
I like Clifford the Big Red Dog.
His shits are going to be the same size as fucking taxis. How are they going to clean that up?
I don't know. They'll do something in terms of him going to the toilet joke in there, and it's going to be very tasteful. And yeah, I'm sure it'll be there, Andy. Don't you worry about it. I'm sure the writers had that first thing on their mind.
He looks really cute. I'm into it.
Our next question: if anyone has not seen the poster for Jordan Peele's Nope, I got confused by it. A lot of people got confused by it because it said Pope on one of the... I don't know if that's legit or something, but there was a poster that said Pope. I don't think so,
because I posted it somewhere and no one knew what the fuck I was talking about.
Yeah.
People had only seen Nope.
I think it was Pope. Like a troll thing. I don't know. But there is a poster for Jordan Peele's new horror, themes film coming out called Nope. And the poster describes the people who haven't seen the poster is there's a giant cloud in the sky, and it's sort of like got like a ribbon and tassels on the back of it, like a kite.
Yeah.
My question to you is, what is this? Can you give me, knowing what you know, what do you think this film is about? Andy, I'll start with you.
Now, do you know what this is about? Have you read the plot?
There's zero things about it. It's only the poster. There's just the poster. So we're just, maybe by the time this podcast comes out, we'll know more information. But as like a little thing here and now, what do you think?
I'm basing it on the internet's Nope thing.
Sure.
Or something where you just fucking nope the fuck out. I think it's going to be something related to, fuck it, aliens. Why not? But also, they like to fly kites. Someone's flying a kite in a storm, it accidentally gets stuck in a UFO, and boom, they're sucked up into the UFO. They make friends with the aliens, and they're like, nope, I'm out. Fuck this. And thus you have the title.
So the cloud is actually a UFO.
Correct.
Yeah, that's what I figured it was.
That's a good one.
Aliens.
Okay.
I don't know whether the aliens are like, come down and then they're like, wow, you guys suck. And they're like, nope, I'm out. Or, because it's going to be, I assume, in some sort of way, some sort of social commentary from Jordan Peele, because he likes to do that.
And it's meant to be a horror as well.
Maybe we're begging the aliens to take us with them. And they're like, nope, you guys suck.
Maybe it's the aliens who are like, nope, yeah.
Like, it does look a bit like a cloud. It does look a bit like people on an escalator. I mean, it doesn't go to the ground in this poster, but maybe us trying to get off the planet. But yeah, aliens.
It was better than my prediction. Mine was just, it never stops raining.
That sounds like the dream.
Yeah, but I thought it was going to be kind of going global warming sort of way, and I thought, oh, the cloud is like an evil cloud, but never stops raining.
Lately, it hasn't stopped raining.
I mean, there you go.
That is true. It's rained everywhere apart from around my house, apparently.
Yeah, and here too. But across the world, there have been terrible floods.
Our next question comes in from Shabadoo. Who is an actor who you thought sucked but got better with time and aged like Chris a fine Pratt. Wine?
Oh, maybe he didn't age like a fine wine.
Like later in their career.
Oh.
So obvious comparisons, I would say. Most people, I know he's not really, but he is better than what he was. Is Keanu Reeves is a big one. I mean, he's not great. Like, he's not good now, but he is much better than what he originally was in his early career.
I thought you were going to use the obvious one as an example and say McConaughey.
I don't like him either.
Is that because he was in rom-coms at the start and he kind of
so he was in like a dreadful rom-com. I mean, aside from Dazed and Confused, he was in like dreadful shitty rom-coms, and then all of a sudden he's going through the reconnaissance with Dallas Buyers Club, Wolf of Wall Street, Mud.
See, all I remember him doing is that fucking film we watched, and that's all I can keep in my head.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, and that's all I remember most of his career from, because that's it stuck in my mind. Yes, Ben.
Go on.
Yes, Ben.
Although I don't I always thought he was great, and I loved him even when he was a crackhead, but I guess another obvious answer is Robert Downey Jr. I always thought he was a great actor, but obviously he had some addiction issues and some prison issues, and he's done a lot of really bad films, but he's also done some incredible films. I personally think that, I don't want to say it like that, but my favourite thing he's ever done was Natural Born Killers. That is my favourite character he's ever played. And in the adaptation of Bret Easton Ellis's book Less Than Zero, he is incredible. But I guess a lot of people kind of only remember the kind of
bad times. Up. Yeah.
He got written out of Ally McBeal because he had to go back to prison. and stuff like that. And then obviously they gave him Iron Man and he fucking smashed it.
I want to say Christian Bale. I know he's always been incredible, but I feel like...
I thought you were going to say Christian Slater.
No, I feel like he went through a mild phase of doing some generic, boring shit like Equilibrium. And as good as he was in Batman, it didn't really push him. But then stuff he's done before and since, I guess, were equally fantastic.
Yeah.
Zac Efron went from that sort of weird fucking singing child kid to like a genuinely funny, charismatic frontman.
Yeah.
A frontman? Leading man.
Because he's singing.
Stop talking about music.
Leading man.
Stop talking about computer games.
All right.
And similarly, Channing Tatum went through the same sort of thing.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Rom-coms,
Yeah.
and then sort of matured into the same sort of thing as Efron.
And people like Timothy Oliphant a lot more than they used to.
Oh, fuck
He's great in Justified, guys.
All right, no, I'm gonna save this stop right now. Just to fucking. What's the definition of insanity? Talking about the same thing, expecting different results. Right.
Putting up with you idiots.
I'm gonna say, and we're gonna wait. This is a pending because he will really sell it on his performance in an upcoming film that I'm very, very much looking forward to. Robert Pattinson. I'm gonna say.
Does he age like a fine wine if he's just all right at Batman?
Lighthouse. He was great in Lighthouse.
Lighthouse was he's supposed to be great in Tenet. He was supposed to have stolen the show.
Tenet. He was fantastic in Tenet. Yeah. I'm just waiting for the Batman to come out and I go, if he fucking nails this. And I didn't. Obviously, the whole Twilight shit. I was like, I'm not on board. Obviously, but if he nails the Batman,
if he nails Batman,
he might have a fan. He might have a fan in me.
I kind of want to say Daniel Radcliffe as well, but I can't tell if that's just because I love Daniel Radcliffe or not.
Yeah, but you've seen him as a child. That's the only difference.
Yeah, so he has actually just aged.
Yeah, he's just aged.
Same with Zac Efron.
Yeah.
Same with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, I mean, everyone ages. We're not disputing that.
Yeah, so what's your
argument
Keanu
Reeves, actually. He doesn't age.
You've seen Daniel Radcliffe before he hit puberty. That's the difference.
Yeah, but my point is, you see his talent progress growth. Because having watched all of the Harry Potter films recently, he's wooden as fuck, even in the last one.
He's shit in the floss.
Outside of that universe, he is, versatile and decent. That Pretoria film he's pretty incredible in. Guns Akimbo is a totally different side to him, and he's still great in that. I will fight to the death for Daniel Radcliffe.
I agree. I just, Rob Pattinson wasn't a child when he started. Well, we haven't seen him really in the big spotlight when he was a child. And it's just more of a case of,
Apart from that Harry Potter film he was in.
Yeah, but he wasn't a child when he was doing that. He was like, oh, whatever. Anyway, our second last question. Each one of you, what is your most watched film and why?
What's Scream, because it's the best.
Of course, fucking predictable pen. Here we go.
Yep.
Andrew, what's your most watched film and why?
I don't know if I can answer this one.
Okay.
Because I don't know.
Give a guess, or just name the top three that you think it might be, or something.
I reckon I've watched both Fantastic Mr. Fox and Scott Pilgrim 70 plus times.
Right.
Toy Story, the first two, I've watched probably 50 plus times.
Right. That's a good number you're counting there.
Thank you. Like, I watch things more than once. I've watched most of the Marvel films maybe half a dozen times each. So I couldn't tell you. Currently, it's probably between Scott Pilgrim and Fantastic Mr. Fox. I watched Fantastic Mr. Fox literally 2 days ago.
And do you watch it because it makes you happy?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. It's an incredible film.
That's
if you haven't seen
Scream.
You're weird.
Yeah. Fucking hell. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's got an incredible soundtrack. It's really well acted and written. It's funny as fuck. It looks fantastic. There's not many films that I would give a perfect 10 to if they came out the hat. Fantastic Mr. Fox would get one every single time.
Yeah, we barely got a 10 out of you for most films, so yeah.
We haven't done any 10s, have we?
I don't think I've given any 10s. I've not given any 1s. I've not given any 10s.
I gave one 10.
Dan did for his own film.
Yeah, of course, because I picked it.
Yeah.
But Fantastic Mr. Fox would get a 10 every single time.
I think I already mentioned it, but I think mine's Pulp Fiction. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it about 30 times. I don't know why, but
Lost Boys I've probably seen. Lost Boys is the film I've seen in most different situations. I've now seen it, like, obviously at home and things, but I went to see it at the cinema. I've also seen it in someone's garden. I've seen it in a cave with bats flying around. We had Chinese food as well. That was really good.
Oh, good.
Tell me more about the Chinese food.
Tell me more.
Because they eat Chinese food in the movie. So we went to a cave and we all sat on beanbags and we got a box of Chinese food and blankets and we watched the movie while bats flew around and it was awesome.
And the final question we have, what is the scariest film you've ever seen and or overall best production-wise, like in terms of like overall story horror film, the best one you've seen as well?
So when people make these lists, I don't like them because different things scare different people.
True, but what's the scariest you've seen?
The one, I don't want to say the scariest, the one that affected me the most was the French version of Martyrs. That hung around. I won't spoil it if you want to watch it. Don't watch the fucking American one, that's fucking tame as arseholes. But
ironic.
The French one, you know, in movies when they have a nightmare and there's like a shot of their face where they're like and they just open their eyes where they've had the nightmare. I did that because I was thinking about the last kind of scene in that movie. Yeah, so that one stuck with me for a while. The Saw movie's slightly too much. If I put my, fucking hell, if I woke up and I had that fucking thing on my head. I'm so fucking desensitized at this point. You've got to think, I've been watching horror films for like 20 years. So it is odd. We did talk about the new Chucky movie. I was genuinely unnerved. I mean, they've been reinventing the horror genre over and over again for years, but Scream really fucking changed a lot of stuff when it came out. So as much as I love it and it's a bit of a joke, it did change a lot of stuff and did lead to a lot of other movies, so it's a pretty important movie, so it's my favourite. I
don't know if it scared me the most, but the one that sort of sticks with me the most in quite a pathetic sort of manner is probably Insidious. Ooh, I think just because situationally there's like certain aspects where like one of them wakes up and there's some dude behind a door or a window and then all of a sudden it's next to them and I'm like, I kind of sleep with my door open and quite often wonder if I'm going to see like a little face peeking through the banister and find it next to me. But also, just as I'm about to drift to sleep, I often have like Tiptoe Through the Tulips in my head. Ooh. Which is an absolutely fine song, but not at 4 a.m. when you're about to drop off. I don't know.
Is that the one with Darth Maul in it?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. So it's not
good until then, in my opinion.
It's not a particularly scary film. There's like a lot of jump scares and it's like faux psychological, but that's the one that sticks with me, bearing in mind I saw it in the cinema 10 years ago. It still gets to me every so often. Best is subjective. I think The Shining's pretty good if we're classifying that as a horror, but I think that's more because of the way it's shot, cinematography and all of that stuff. So
at the time as well,
visually it's sort of creepy and intimidating and stuff, so I don't know, that's pretty good, but I don't watch many horrors, so the scariest film I've probably seen is maybe The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, have you seen Return to Oz? That's fucking terrifying.
That is genuinely terrifying. Creepy. But The Wizard of Oz, a girl turns up, she murders the first person she meets, and then her and a bunch of her mates go and try and kick the shit out of everyone, kill an old woman and take over an old man. So that's pretty haunting, isn't it?
I don't really get scared. So
here we go.
Dan.
I haven't been scared really for a long time. I don't know. I'm sorry to mention video games. I get more scared with video games than I do with movies.
They're more immersive though, aren't they? And more interactive.
There's more of an interactive element and you control what's going on. With movies, because I play so many video games, it's more of a case I'm just watching something. It doesn't really immerse me that much. I guess the scariest one from memory would be actually one that's recent that was kind of creepy that I don't think a lot of people have seen.
Host.
Host.
Host scared the crap out of you.
Host did scare me, but there was one that was, it's zero kind of jump scary kind of start. I like the whole, psychological horror more than the jump scary side of things. Was The Witch in 2016 or 15, I want to say. Did legitimately tense me really, really hard throughout the whole entire thing. Obviously,
are you talking about having an erection?
Yeah, I'm talking about having an erection. Absolutely.
The witch gave Dan an erection.
The witch gave me an erection. Put that on the fucking title. I guess early on it was Blair Witch and all that kind of stuff that you scared. The Blair Witch was probably the scariest at the time because it's the first found footage kind of thing I saw, and I thought it was real, like some people did. And the best, again, with Andy, I think Shining is probably my favorite horror. I think I can't really think of anything else that's... I get it's not really a horror, but like 2001: A Space Odyssey as well scares me a little bit. It's not a horror at all. It's more of, but it does have some fucking weird, crazy, trippy bits in it that do freak me out sometimes to this day.
It all depends on what creeps you out and what scares you. I've got a real issue with being incorrectly institutionalized. So I found One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest pretty fucking creepy at points because I was like, Jesus, what if you do get...
Oh. Like I won't watch Buried Alive movies because that scares the shit out of me, so I just won't watch them.
But what if like you're totally sane and you get sent to one of those places and they just, because you're saying that you're fine and you're clear of thought, they're like, well, you're obviously not because you're in this place, and they just keep you there forever.
All right, free bed.
Does no one else get that?
Free bed.
Is that just me?
Oh, roof over your head, free bed. Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
I've got that now. But also, I'd like a bit of freedom to be able to get out and not be in a fucking straitjacket the whole time.
You got to pay a mortgage. You don't have to pay a mortgage.
I'd probably be like, I'd probably think about what I did to get there, even if it was like falsely accused, as it were. I was like, I probably did something a bit shit.
The second you start fighting against it and telling everyone you're saying and like getting angry and trying to justify to people, you're just going to stay there longer. But once you start thinking about what you could have done, again, you're in a cycle where you can't get out of it. Can we change the subject? Let's move on.
That is all we have for this edition of Question Time. Thank you for joining us.
Week we all watched 2001 Maniacs.
We sure
Dan
did.
Quite liked it.
Yeah.
Andy did not.
Well, I gave it a 5. I didn't really like that
well,
much.
you were like, I didn't hate it, and I thought you would hate it, so I'm taking it as a win.
Okay.
He nearly gave it a 7.
No, I didn't. Fuck off.
Did I? I thought I gave it a 6 or a 7, and you were not happy.
Because it was fucking dreadful.
Yeah, well, we found out that they did 2001 Maniacs Field of Screams in 2010, and I stupidly said I'd watch it. So I did.
Oh, no.
You're the guinea pig of the group, officially.
I knew it wasn't going to be good.
Really?
But?
Yep.
But
I didn't even like it. Like, I liked 2001 Maniacs. I know we talked about it last week and how it was problematic, but I still found it fun and I still kind of enjoyed it, even with all the kind of moments. I did not enjoy this at all. It's got a 3.2 on IMDb.
Nice.
The original cost 1.5 million. Well, this one cost 500,000 to make, and it was shot over 12 days. So I have a lot of notes.
Yes.
It's basically the same story. They do talk about how there's 2001 of them, and they need to avenge by killing 2001. What's it? Northerners.
Yes.
Fucking Northerners.
So a lot of this is just scenes that happen. And they like to do a lot of, like, start a scene in one place. Like, say, Dan's over here doing something and Andy's over there doing something. They like to cut in between them with quite a lot. Rather than having a scene and finishing it, they like to intercut them a lot.
Okay.
For some reason.
Okay.
So we're probably just going to mostly list things that happened.
I look forward to this not making any sense.
Yeah. So Robert Englund was too busy, too expensive, I don't know. Bill Moseley, who we love from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but he is now playing Mayor Buckman, and he retells the original story of how they all got murdered and that they all need to be avenged. doesn't really sound as southern as old Freddy. They're basically waiting in their town. It's the anniversary, and they're waiting in the town for everyone to show up so they can kill them all. My next note says him and Granny used to bang. That was a thing that I learned.
I thought that was obvious. Anyway, I thought that was implied.
I didn't know that.
Oh, it was super obvious in this one.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was obvious in the other one. I just assumed that was the case.
I don't
the
think
sexual tension between everyone was just fucking off the charts in the first one, so I didn't anyone is.
If you watched the last one and thought there's not enough tits in this, well, you will be very excited for this one.
You sure you didn't watch a porno?
I might as well have.
Okay.
There was just soft porn. You know how Tyler Durden puts dicks in to films? It was a bit like they put little soft porn scenes in the middle.
Is this another case of unnecessary tit watch?
Yes, it is.
Another edition.
Very, very much so. There's some butts in it too, and there's some boy butts. So it evens out, but still.
Not enough narrative tits, though.
Don't know if you've all had the South Will Rise Again song stuck in your head since we watched it, but it was back 2 minutes and 47 seconds into the movie. They were singing that again.
Was it remastered?
The metal version was at the end. It was remixed at the end.
Oh, sick. Fantastic.
Was it the same old guys?
I didn't check, but there were 2 old guys. So the Granny's still in it. The milkmaid is in it. Yes. Hucklebilly, who is still the best thing about this movie. I love him. He can live rent-free in my head. He's in it. The guy that fucks the sheep, classic. He's in it. Oh, and a fun fact about him, he directed Escape Room and Escape Room Tournaments of Champion, and he directed Insidious. As we'll come back around the last key.
So what? His CV reads, fucked a sheep on set.
Yeah.
Directed Insidious.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
That's so weird.
Yeah, he was, and he obviously was fine with it because he comes back for this one. They also have an Asian lady, which I was confused
Weren't
by.
they against?
Yeah, and
well, they had a black cook, didn't they?
There were a couple of black people. There's a couple of black people in this one, but they were slaves.
Just so people are listening to this and wondering why we're discussing different races. In the first film, sudden stereotype.
Please listen to the first one so I don't have to explain.
It will make more sense.
So they're in the town, and the 3 sons, Hucklebilly and Sheep Guy and Gay Guy, drag over the sheriff because he's gone into wherever they keep the detour sign. You know, they use the detour sign to lure people to the town so they can eat them. Yeah. And the sheriff is fucking fed up of it. He's like, every year this happens, and I get fucking northerners coming down looking for their missing kids and people, and I'm fucking done with it.
Well, maybe you should fucking investigate. Why are the cops so shit in films? This keeps happening.
He's in on it. He's in on it. Yeah. He's in on it.
Oh yeah, he was, wasn't he? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he said to Buckman, he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. And Buckman's like, but we pay you really well, don't we? So I'm like, oh, they've paid him off. Oh, apparently they pay him off.
How do they pay him?
Like,
make once money? Every year.
The milkmaid fucks him, apparently. It is implied.
Oh, okay. That's payment. Okay.
I mean, you know.
Andy.
So...
He might be lactose intolerant. I don't drink milk, so I wouldn't know.
Fine pair of jugs.
I didn't say that.
She had great tits, to be fair. There was all
the
tits in this.
I'm talking about her jugs of milk because she's milkmaids, not anything else.
It was just she didn't have any jugs this time. She just had her tits.
Oh, but she did have a fine pair of jugs in the last one that were.
She did.
She had fantastic pair.
So the sheriff says, "No more. Is that clear?" And Granny says, "Clear as a nighttime kiss on a young possum's cooch."
Okay, can we break this down, please? No. What does that mean?
I don't know.
I think it means that if you saw something like that, it would be so unique and so new to you that you would.
No. Well, he's like, I'm not doing this anymore. Is that clear? And you'd be like, crystal clear. She's like, no, it's clear as a nighttime kiss on a young possum's cooch.
Okay, That's sounding the opposite then. That's sounding like, okay, that's confusing answer back. Maybe it's not legitimately clear.
Who knows?
Well, unless a young possum's cooch is very visible.
Yes, that is true.
And thus you can see it in the night
and you
because it
see
glows
it
in
at
the
night
dark.
time. Yeah, that's like a regular thing.
It might be a glow in the dark vagina.
Sure, why not? Let's
attached to a possum.
So, to prove that they understand, they take the sheriff and they put him into a barrel and they hammer really big nails into it. It's like on a hill, but they've got two like rails and so that go down the hill and that point towards a target. So they push him down the hill so it rolls and he splats into the top. So the nails are going to stab him while he's rolling around in the barrel. And then he splats into the target. You don't really get to see it. They obviously don't have the gore budget. The gore in this is fucking shit.
Really? Because the gore in the first one was kind of okay.
It was pretty good. Yeah, it's rubbish in this one. It's like someone standing behind the target and thrown a bucket of paint. And then he's just like stuck to the target with like shards of wood like sticking out of him. And he's dead now.
Can I say this?
Mm-hmm.
That's an inventive death. And that is something we don't see that often. And I will give it credit for that.
They are. Some of them were quite
because that's quite inventive.
Yeah.
Chucking him in a barrel full of nails and then luzzing him down a hill. Credit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a waste of fucking time, but either way, you could just fucking chuck some nails into him. But anyway.
No, I agree, but it's fun. You know, it's like traditional barrel rolling
for all the family.
Traditional barrel rolling, but also it's an inventive way to fucking do someone in. We never see that shit anymore. It's always the same old bollocks in these sort of films. I like to see a good inventive death.
Should put razors in that wheel of cheese that they chuck down a hill. That'd make it more interesting, wouldn't it?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well,
Jesus Christ.
What's wrong with
That's an actual crime.
So then we get the credits and we get a montage of, I'm calling them rednecks, the rednecks going on a road trip complete with like photos. I'm trying to think, possibly it reminded me of like a Euro trip, road trip, American Pie style montage with like Polaroids of them all like hanging out on the bus and mucking around while they go on a road trip.
Is this legit the same fucking film? Oh my god.
Yeah, but because they now can't get people to the town,
yes,
they go on a road trip. But they literally go to one place. They just move to so they don't take all 2001 Maniacs with them. They just take like 15 of them.
6
on a road trip or something.
Right. Okay.
Maybe 10 of them. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Then we get our cast of other characters. I only wrote down one of their names because if you didn't care about the last lot of characters, you definitely won't care about these guys. They are doing a reality show, a bit like The Simple Life. We'll get to who they are in a minute. I think the guy who is there's a guy driving the bus that they're all on, and his name is Jesus, but they keep calling him Jesus. And he's driving the bus while one of the other girls, I think she's something to do with video production, I don't know. Her name's Black Cherry, and she's giving him a blowjob while they are driving. I didn't notice this in the first one, but Dan pointed out how bad the dubbing was in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually didn't notice. And in this one, I sent you guys a voice note. It was eventually, what's this film, like 86 minutes? I think I got 45 minutes to an hour in and I stopped noticing it. But it was almost unwatchable. It was like a bad lip reading video, and I'm pretty sure you could see their mouths not moving at certain points, and it was dubbed over.
Well, then I'm absolutely certain that there was dubbing in the first one, then, if that's the case. Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly didn't notice it, but it was birdemic levels of bad. Like,
Jesus. I wonder if, because I know that they filmed actually in the town, and like a load of locals were in it. So I wonder if they just couldn't cut out environmental noises and had to just record it again.
Yeah, it sounds like it, doesn't it?
I think so. They were outside like all the time.
Yeah.
They didn't have houses in this one because they'd been on a road trip. It was all outside or in like circus tents. There's a guy and a girl making out, and someone is sneaking up on them, trying to do like the Jason music, like but doing like a fake version because copyright, I assume. And it turns out the camera guy is filming them. Actually, he pokes her in the butt with the camera, and she's like, "Hey, I said no anal." And then they realise that the guy's filming
Jesus
them, and it's weird.
Christ.
She takes the camera.
Fuck's sake.
And her and the boy go off into the woods, and he starts going down on her, and she is enjoying it.
Okay, legit pen. This is a porno.
Yep.
You've watched a porno.
But she also just keeps shouting, like, you know, she's making the noises and she's shouting, yeah, but she's like, break the clam, break the clam. And I don't know what that means.
No.
What does that mean?
The clam.
No,
Break the clam.
No.
She's like, yeah, break the clam, break the clam. I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Would never think in my life someone would think that's... a girl, I guess, would think that's.
I think she's like in a tree, and he's going down on her. But I don't know what break.
Yeah, but I'd never. No one has said break the clam. Come on, surely not. Have you said break the clam during intercourse? Write into us at PO Box. Yeah.
So they think these rednecks are ridiculous. So they're like, and they're broken down. So they're like, let's stay and film some of the reality show here. I've written down that the new Harper is more like a goth Noel Fielding. He's not very good.
A goth Noel Fielding? What's Noel Fielding then?
Well, you know when he's a goth in
the
IT crowd. In the IT crowd.
Yeah.
He's a bit more like... yeah, he's like that.
Oh, I thought you meant he's like Noel Fielding but more gothic. I was like, is that a thing? Is that possible?
Yeah, in the IT crowd.
What I thought you were saying was he was more gothic than Noel Fielding as a goth.
No. He was like a gothic Noel Fielding. I'm with you. Jezebel the sheep, she's back. She's still with Lester.
Yes.
She's stuffed. So I originally thought that she was stuffed because of money. They couldn't afford a real sheep this time. And then I thought, well, maybe she's old and they've stuffed her. Mm-hmm. But then later on, they treat her like a real sheep. So I'm not sure if she was supposed to be real or if she wasn't.
Maybe he's just giving her a good stuffing.
I was waiting for that joke to come at some point.
No, it's so predictable in it.
I'm so sorry. It came really fast, but I was waiting for it there.
We get to know the kids a bit more. I don't want to call them the kids, but we get to know them a bit more. The two girls that are a bit like the Simple Life, they're talking about her new album, and she's like, "What do you mean your new album? I thought we were doing one." And she said, "We can't do everything together. It's not the basketball team."
What?
I think implying that they banged the basketball team together. As in, together, they both banged the basketball team.
The whole basketball team. I'm assuming possibly at once. I don't know.
All right, stop staring at me. All right, I get it. All right, move on.
Well, you still looked blank. We had to explain it twice.
I'm fine.
Do you want us to explain the physics behind a fucking orgy?
No, for fuck's sake, just fucking move on. I was thinking
One of the boys
You're
is like...
remembering the time you were
Shut the fuck
with the
up, move on,
team,
move on, move on.
One of the boys says, "Oh, do you remember the time I told you about how I fucked my babysitter?" And the other boy goes, "Wasn't your uncle your babysitter?" So they're implying, they're setting up the seeds for him being gay.
That is quite funny.
Yeah.
That is quite funny. I mean, ridiculous, but also quite funny.
He's like, "Oh yeah, don't worry." This is where it got confusing because we do this scene of the kids are talking about the time they banged the basketball team, and then Jesus and the girl are talking to the other girls and she gets hit with a bell. Then we go back and they're filming Granny and like the gay son do like a cooking segment. And Granny's like, "Our Native American neighbors taught us how to use maize. You can boil it. You can pop it." I wish I didn't remember that these were the actual words, but yeah. And then she talks about how that if you put a lot of butter on it, you can use it as a dildo.
Right.
Then there's a scene where...
I'm sorry, I'm thinking physics here. How's that going to work?
Can be used as a dildo.
She's got a corn on a cob, and she talks about how you can use it as a dildo. She calls it a nighttime buddy, I believe.
Are you legit watching a porno?
I mean,
I'm a bit more worried that Penny had corn on the cob just before we recorded.
That too, yeah.
No, KFC.
Oh, this is the best corn on the cob I've ever had. Yeah,
KFC do really good corn on the cobs.
Don't do those hand motions.
Then there is a scene where all the reality show kids are in a pool and they're just messing around and they've all got their tits out and they're all making out.
Are they fucking?
No.
Okay. Right.
But then Hucklebilly floats past on a lilo, and he is naked, wearing nothing but a raccoon hat.
What is
fucking
this?
great.
What is this?
Are we talking like full knob out?
No, but you can see his butt. Like he's laying face down on the lilo with his butt out.
And a Davy Crockett style hat.
Yeah. He's still my favourite thing about these movies. I love him. His voice isn't as high pitched as it was in the first ones. I don't know how old he was in the first one. I forgot to look. But
I'm out.
maybe he just couldn't. He's still a bit high pitched, but it's not quite the same. Then he's like, "What are you all doing?" And he kind of stands up in the pool, and you can still see his butt. And then they talk about how he's getting an erection. And the guys drag him off. So then the two naked dudes drag naked Hucklebilly off and away from the girls.
Right, great scene. Great.
Yep. It was unnecessary.
Yep. As is the whole entire film.
Yep. Jesus takes the passed out blonde girl to a tent, which I guess is a medical tent that they've for some reason set up.
And what happens there, Pen?
They give her to Harper and the milkmaid, but she is now dressed as a nurse.
Of course she is. Oh, yes, of course.
He leaves. He's like, yeah, you sort her out. And she wakes up and she is in her underwear. She is tied down to the bed.
It's a fucking
And
porn.
Harper puts on a fake pig snout.
Right.
Again, I'm making this sound better than it was now. He puts on a pig snout and talks about slaughtering pigs. Then he tickles her with a feather before cutting her in half with a circular saw.
Oh, that was a leap, wasn't it?
Yeah.
One is slightly, seductive. The other is not.
Should use flowers.
Should have used flowers. It was mostly lots of blood being thrown at them. You do see a shot of the circular saw going into her lady area, but it still wasn't very good.
Not really nice wound anymore, is it?
Cheap and no.
No, it's a sore wound. I'll definitely be sore in the morning. I love how uncomfortable it's making Dan.
This just sounds like fucking utter trash, doesn't it? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but we know it was going to be because the first one was also trash.
Yeah, but I think the first one's a fucking Oscar-winning masterpiece compared to this fucking thing by the sounds of it. Fucking hell.
I'm editing this one, so I warn you now, I'm cutting this bit out.
Oh, I'm Penny, and I secretly enjoyed this film and would highly recommend it and think it's a great film. And this is kind of the standard of the bullshit I watch most days and put the other two through them on every single podcast. And yes, I'm definitely editing this one, and no, Dan is not, and it's not like he decided to help out Penny because she had a busy week or anything, so Dan stepped in to edit this podcast, and now he has to listen to this shit all over again and put himself through it and listen to all those lovely memories of Penny talking about this film. This is Penny talking.
Then you've got a scene of Granny who's banging. Then she tries to get it on with Buckman. She's a horny granny.
Horny older lady.
They're all fucking horny. What's the difference?
I think it's because
mature ladies in your area.
I think it's because they're hungry as well. She says something about like they get horny before they get hungry every year.
Oh, well, I know the feeling.
Yeah.
They get hungry.
That's the thing, worst fucking joke
word.
you have ever.
It's not even a joke.
It's not a joke. Hangry.
No,
it?
It's like hangry, but it's hungry.
No, I apologize.
No, fucking have a look, mate. It is a thing.
I apologize after fucking 60 episodes for that terrible fucking display of it.
Oh, we've had worse.
No.
We've had worse.
This is not a phrase I've made up.
No,
it is legitimately a thing.
Let's move on.
Anyway, so Hucklebilly is sneaking around and he ends up in the van. And then Jesus and Black Cherry also sneak off to the van. One of the other guys wanders into a tent, and I've just written tits. Then there's a scene. No, you see some.
Oh, of course, yeah, sure.
Yeah, so literally, like I said, it was like a scene.
Yeah,
a scene.
It sounds like it. Yeah.
So yeah, Hucklebilly's now in the van with Jesus and Black Cherry. He's hiding. One of the guys, he wanders into a tent. Another girl wanders in and gets her tits out. Then there's a shot of, I think, the two Simple Life girls wrestling in bikinis.
Yep.
As you do.
As you do.
So she's taken her top off and got her tits out. She has got him naked and put him in like Civil War soldier clothes and put him in a chair, and she's tied him up. Then Hucklebilly watches Jesus and Black Cherry banging.
Oh, for fuck's sake! What is this?
And he says to Black Cherry something about how she grunts louder than a chicken or something.
Chickens notoriously grunt incredibly loud.
I'm paraphrasing, but I'm sure he said something about a chicken.
They don't fucking grunt.
What the fuck was that?
I was trying to do, but like go like a grunt or something. It didn't fucking come out well. That's what she said.
I want to change my answer to Michael Caine about the most haunting thing I've ever seen. It was fucking that.
This is fucking utter drivel, though. This is just sounds like you're describing a porno to us, legitimately.
Yeah, you know, Andy won't agree, but it had none of the charm of the first one, and the first one wasn't exactly that charming.
Yeah,
but do you see what I mean? No, even though we were like, oh, the racism and all the stuff, like there was a little bit, and it was kind of fun, and it was kind of gory. This had nothing. The Civil War ghosts, as I've decided to call them now, apparently put on a show to entertain the guests, I guess. And they make one of the guys disappear. So like he's on stage, they shut the curtains, they reopen the curtains, and it's Hucklebilly instead. And the guy is somewhere else. And he seems, I don't know where he is. He seems to be in a room or in a tent, I don't know, with a bunch of stuff, and it's dark. And the gay son finds him, and they have a moment. The gay reality show star hasn't come out. It is made clear that he hasn't come out.
Right.
And they have quite a nice, tender little moment. He's like, "Oh, I knew you could, I knew I could see it in you. I knew, we're kind of the same because we're not out." And then I think they're gonna bang, and they don't. The gay one bends him and snaps him in half, and then eats him. Like eats bits of him. He kind of goes towards him and manages to snap the guy in half backwards, and then just pulls a chunk out of him and eats him. Buckman comes out, and I think he tries to do some stand-up, not really sure, and he introduces Harper, and Harper would like a volunteer from the audience.
This movie just sounds like a fucking Weekend in Butlins.
Oh, don't Butlins. I have...
With
Jesus
racism.
I have nightmares about the last time I went to Butlins.
So just Butlins, yeah, just the one.
Whoever else is left, they show them their dead friends, like they did in the first one. But they're like, "We're gonna let you go, but we've hidden a bunch of guns around, so you can go and find the guns and try and get away." They don't run away. They do go and look for the guns, but I think I would have just fucking legged it. But anyway. And the Civil War ghosts just sit around and eat dinner. Don't even start chasing them. They've got some people, so they sit around and eat dinner. Apparently, they are only halfway to 2001 souls being avenged. And apparently they are fucking over it. And to be honest, so was I. So they're digging for guns. And the producer finds a bag with tits in it.
Sorry, a bag with tits.
Yep, with tits in it, like round, like just Dan's gone, but round tits in it.
I know what
but
tit looks
if you cut them off, like it was just they were like balls. They shouldn't have been. They find a bag.
Shouldn't.
I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm so sorry.
Do you know what the worst part is? This is so deflating. I can't even think of a good tit bag pun or joke.
I'm genuinely having a fucking brain aneurysm right now.
You sound like my voice, mate, don't you? Then they set up a kind of dunk tank thing. They've got Black Cherry.
It's Butlins. It's fucking Butlins.
It really is Butlins, yeah.
Black Cherry has got a rope around her neck, and they're throwing tomatoes at the target. They get away. And for some reason, it's daytime now, and for some reason they decide to stop in the middle of the road, get out and argue with each other. And as they are arguing, it's a bit like Carousel, a fucking truck comes along and runs them over. Runs them over to the point where all you just see is like some intestines and some blood and some clothes on the floor. Like it Again, physics smushes them. Who's driving the truck?
Peaches.
No, I'm going to say the sheep.
No. Remember the end of the
I'm going
last
to
one?
say Milkmaid.
I'm going to say the script of this entire
Huckleberry.
fucking film. Oh, yeah.
Same as the last
I'm
one.
going to say the script, the band.
I'm going to say Keen, the band.
Oh my god. Huckleberry runs him over with his truck. Hey, that's my job. Don't make me start doing impressions.
Where have you gone?
Yeah, Huckleberry runs him over with his truck. And then the last scene is Buckman using their camera to film a commercial to be like, hey, come on down to Iowa or wherever they are now to the Civil War ghost place and have a good time. And the metal remix of The South Will Rise Again plays, and that is the end. I did this for you, not you two. I did this for everyone else.
Don't you fucking clap.
Sounds like a work of art to me.
If you didn't like the first one, there's no way in hell you like this one. The first one was good.
I like watching Dan suffer. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
so I kind of did do it for you a little bit, Andy.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I can't work out whether
I
it was
just
just
don't
because of the
understand
budget.
how we can get so annoyed at these sort of films, but fucking loves Neil Breen where fuck all happens.
Oh, come on.
Do you know what I mean?
This isn't a film. This is a soft porno. There's
There was a lot of tits. I appreciated the boy butts, but it was a lot of tits.
The script was tits, sex, tits, sex, tits, sex.
Yeah, but that's
death,
what I mean. It wasn't
tits,
written
sex,
by
tits, sex. That was it.
Yeah, this one. But like, I mean, compared to the first one, which again, not great, but better than this one. The only kind of different factors, it was written by the same guy who wrote the first one and that directed the first one. So how is it so bad just because of budget? Like there weren't. Peaches was the only one, and the milkmaids, but there were no nipples in the first one.
It sounds like he was a lot more hornier this time around.
There were.
Were there?
There were definitely nips in the first one.
There was nips in
Who
the
got their
first
tits
one.
out? Oh.
Yeah. During the country sex scene where everyone was having sex with each other.
That was it though, wasn't it?
No.
Oh.
Peaches got them out later as well.
And Peaches
before she used the bear trap on the
I
penis.
take it back then. But there was like 6 times more tits in this than the first one.
Right.
This corncob makes one hell of a nighttime buddy.
Well, if you're a fan of tits, not like me.
Watch porn.
Joke.
Don't watch this, watch porn.
You'll probably find a better storyline in an actual soft porn or porno than this, by the sound of it. So, yeah, go on to www.pornhub.com and there's lots of choice there. Nah, there's
Don't
lots.
promote that shit here.
Just directing people to the better
I think
version
people
of
know
what
where to
this
get
is.
tits, Dan.
Just in case, you never know. Where do you get tits? P.O. Box 1256. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Pen, I guess.
He's
Thanks.
so sad now.
Do you want me to cheer you up, Dan?
Now, you cheering me up is the opposite effect, but what? Is it a motorway fucking thing again?
Do you know Margaret Thatcher opened the M25 in 1988?
Shut the
my
fuck
God.
up, Penny.
Oh
What
my
is our
God.
fucking socials before I kill
You
both of
can
you?
find us on Instagram and Facebook at Unusual Suspects Pod and on Twitter at Unusual Podspect. I'm at Penny_photopit.
I am depressed. Dan talks a lot.
Choice is 21.
Episode
Next
61.
week.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was helping you host because you're really sad. Next
Yeah.
week we're watching Crash, the car one, not the other one. I don't remember the years.
Which is also about sex. Wow. We're
so
we
if
just
you want
going
to
to
watch
be
that.
very sexy and romantic all the way up until the possibly special episode of episode 69. Is that how we're just rolling this for the next couple
Mate,
episodes?
Crash is not a sexy sort of film.
No.
I mean, it does involve it, right?
It does. There's a lot. I seem to remember there was like fingering of wounds.
Yeah,
I
it's not
don't
good.
want to know.
So,
but thanks.
You will
That'll be fun to watch.
soon.
Yeah, light some candles. Pour yourself a nice glass of wine.
And
Put on some soft
wounds.
jazz.
You know what?
Get out your sauciest lingerie and watch Crash, a fucking horrific film.
I feel like it'll be like watching The Butterfly Effect again.
Really?
I am.
Oh.
So I'm going to have to watch it a couple, because Kat and I are going to watch it on the weekends, because, romance is dead. But I am a bit worried that it's going to bum us both out to the point where we're just going to be like, okay, well, nice to see you, shake hands and leave.
So yes, Crash from 1996 is our film out of the hat next week. I have not seen it. These two have. So it should be an interesting one. I haven't seen it for
a long time, though.
Let's see if it's aged well, like most of our films that we watch.
Like Timothy Oliphant. He has aged well.
Nah.
It's full circle.
We're back next week.
Speaking of full circle, ZM25 is not quite
back next week.
Tunnel.
We're back next week. Thank you very much for listening, as always.
Thanks for putting up with my bullshit, everyone.
I'm gonna have a lie down. Good night, all. Have a lovely day. Bye.
Good night. Have a lovely day.
Fuck off. My brain hurts.
You should have gone for a vehicular one, like keep on trucking on the M25.
South will rise, the South will rise.